amazing book breakthrough Friday, as part of our Energile Early Birds. Yes, we are super happy to welcome Sudha to present this week's book breakthrough. Yes, Sudha, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, today I have taken some important things from the book called Thirukkural. It's a very small topic that I have taken with a few kurals, but we want to make this as a very interactive session to share anything that is related to what we are discussing. That's going to be a great inspiration and learning from each of us. And let's see if we can make it interactive. Okay, this is, thank you, Mahendiran, for this opportunity. Appreciate giving you your very precious time that I was even thinking about, like, I wish we had another book from another great book to know about from Mahendiran with a lot of insights. But this small time that I have taken should definitely help me as well as others. I'm hoping for this to be taken in a very productive way. Even though the content that I have taken is small, we can discuss very extensively about this topic by sharing experience. I really wish every one of us here can share some things related, so it makes it an interesting session. Thank you all. Okay, let's just, I know there are, so not everybody knows about the book Thirukkural, but Mahendiran and others have definitely know everybody's Mahendiran's speech. You would have heard that many times, and by now it would be part of your known books as well. So this is like a we call it as a Tirumarai. It's something like sacred verses, literacy with a book with sacred verses, and we call it as a shortly Kural. It's classic Tamil literature that consists of like 1,330 kurals. We call it's couplets in English, maybe. It's two-liner, like just 1.5, basically 7 words. With the 7 words, every couplet is written with the massive thoughts into it and realization. Every kural, every couplet has so much of realization and lessons to learn. It's like if we have to worship a book, I would worship Thirukkural. So it's that kind of sacredness is there for anyone. It doesn't have anything about one particular god. It's that's why they call it as Podumarai, that is for everyone. And this book is believed to be written by Thiruvalluvar. There are several information about it, like it's who is he, whereabouts, and there is a lot of proofs that there is his name is Thiruvalluvar, and there is a lot we can talk about around that, but let's not go into that. I want to choose one small portion of it. Even though it has 133 chapters, I'm not taking, and each chapter has like 10 couplets. I mean, that's making it 1,330 couplets, right? I have taken very few that is on leadership. And we have talked, Mahendiran has had a leadership, a professional mastery, and we can talk about that. Considering that few points from here, what we are going to talk is few things about leadership. That why there are 2 reasons why Thirukkural is an apt book for learning leadership lessons. Is one, the book explains in detail the essential qualities of leadership. Empathy, like for example, empathy, we have talked about in Energile, clarity of thoughts, focus, and courage, and listening. So all these are definitely discussed here, which is going to be reiterated in the form of Thirukkural. So the reason why I wanted to take this topic is it doesn't matter if it is work or at home or with friends or with the social communication that we have. Even as a child, if you think everyone, for them to come to the next level, or for them to be heard, or for to get what they want, even for a child to get what it needs a leadership mindset and leadership skills, right? So it's basically leadership is a mindset. Like in Energile, they always say, if you need an next level of a promotion, or if you want to attain a next level of stage, you need to be that level. Like you need to think and assume and visualize and do what you want to be. I forgot the term of be it, do it, or something like that. That you want to be able to do what you want to be. So if you do that, you automatically get into that position, and you are recognized as that position, and you are going to be part of that. You are going to be promoted to that. Even if you are monetarily benefited or not, you are already in that position. So that's a mindset, right? That's why it is a mindset. That leadership is a mindset. If a baby wants something, it cries in a way that it gets it. So it's not an weakness that it wants to get it, cry and get it. The moment whatever it wants, whether it be it a milk or a toy, the moment it gets it, you should say that instantly that cry will go away, and it is done. It was not acting, but it was taking that as a leadership skill to show, wow, can I get the attention of my mom or a mom, whoever is there, to get what I want. So that's the leadership skill of that baby. So every one of us has the leadership skills, and we just have to bring it out, find out what works for us, what is getting us what we need, and with all the ethical and things that we should apply that and get it. So that is what we are all doing, but we should do it in the way and in the place where we want to have that done. So that's about the leadership and the qualities of what a perfect leader should have. He should have clarity. Without clarity, nothing can happen. He should have courage. He should have the listening skills, and he should have the delegation. So each one of us, what is the kural that I like the most in each one of it is what is I want to discuss. And with clarity, what a leader can achieve. What is that helps us? So Thirukkural in Thiruvalluvar says, ஆற்றின் வருந்தா வருத்தம் பலர் நின்று போற்றினும் பொத்துப்படும். So what he is trying to say in this is the importance, right? The importance and the necessity of applying the suitable and right methodologies to perform any work. So if you are given a work without clarity of thought, what you are going to do, without the focus on the focus, you can get it done in any way. But if you have the clarity, only the clarity about the work and the desired result will help in identifying the right and the best approach. So it doesn't matter how many people are involved, but if you don't have the end in mind, Energile way of saying would be keeping end in mind. If you don't have that end in mind, you can start it, you can execute it, but will you get the end result of what you really want is an open-ended question. It may not be always possible. If you want to get that, achieve the goal, you have to keep the end in mind and work towards it. So I was thinking about like affirmations, right? If you are doing affirmations, why are we doing the affirmations is because we want what needs to be achieved should be in our mind. So that clarity of thought and clarity of our goal is clearly set, then we will definitely run towards it or at least walk towards it, but we will only walk towards it, but not just barely walk, right? So that's a clarity that he's talking about. It may be sounding very simple, but the thought inside and the importance of clarity this Kural is giving is like worth a lot. So this is the Energile way of saying is what I got, keeping my end in mind. If anybody else have anything that correlates with the Energile, with this Kural about how and why a leader should be working with clarity. Why should everybody should work with clarity, right? Why are they calling that the leader should work with clarity? Why is he clearly mentioning about a leadership and clarity together? Is because there are 100 people following the leader. And if he doesn't have the clarity, the followers are not going to be doing the job right. So that's why any task taken without clarity will fail. Putting it in the positive terms, any task taken with the clarity of end in mind will definitely be a successful one. So I really want to hear from you all any one simple example of what went well with you when you had the clarity. And if you want to share a similar experience of when you didn't have the clarity, what happened, even though a lot of effort and time has been put in. Can anyone share your experience?
Awesome. Thanks, Sudha, for making it really engaging. Yes, each of you feel free to unmute and speak.
I know it's early in the morning. We don't want to think so much, but clarity of thought, the importance of clarity of thought is we can see it every day. It's like, for example, a small example of clarity of thought, right? When there is there was something that we were talking about at home, and my son wanted an watch, and he was asking, we were talking about it, and immediately my daughter jumped in and said, she was not even there in the conversation. She had few more watches, but he lost his watch, so we were talking about we should get one for him, and she said that I want it. So what do you want it? She didn't know. Whatever Anna is getting. So it's that it's a very different example now, may not be relevant, but what I want to say is the clarity of thought. So what we did is we kind of like made her understand, like, you should know what you're asking. You should have a clarity in your thought when you're asking, and how is that going to help? So if you had asked with some thought, with clarity, you would have got that. So that's just came to my mind. I was not prepared to share, but from the leadership skill also, if you see the similar case that just because somebody is getting it, you don't want to get it, right? It's something that you should think through, and if there is your vision, your visualization and your vision is there, you go for it. And that's a clarity of thought that everyone should have, and that's very important for leadership. Similarly, I want to talk about courage. Courage is rightly considered the foremost of all the virtues for leadership, and it's the courage is another essential quality of a good leader. Because if there is something that, let's say that you have a project coming, and if you don't have the courage to take your team, the team's capabilities are not going to be used fully, and their job security is at risk because you are not courage enough to take that work and do it as a team and show and prove that you can do it, right? So courage is not only about mental courage physical courage. Courage is about like what you can take up and do and take the risk and analyze the failure, what things can go wrong, but take it, think through that, find the right solution, and putting the effort to see the end result. That is also just like a clarity. Without courage, you cannot do that as well. So he's explaining in the Kural that I like the most is இடுக்கண் வருகால் இடுக்கண் வருகால் நகுக அதனை அடுத்தூர்வது அக்தொப்பதில். Idukan means something when there is an துன்பம், it's something that some sadness or something that comes, you just laugh it out. Like Openopolo, I forgot the exercise that we do. I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you. So this is something that when you feel sad, or I mean, anytime you can say that, but when you feel like you are offended, you are sad, or you have you didn't get what you want, that time when you say those words, how soothing and comforting that feeling is to ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, is exactly how I felt when I read this Kural. Idukkan varugal naguga. Whenever there is something that is not going good, you smile. You feel it's like taking a deep breath when you smile. Laugh is the best exercise that you can give for yourself, even in Energile terms. So, துன்பம் வரும்போது நகுதல் வேண்டும். So, and a courageous leader will never give up, and his fellow members would also follow the same path. If he's not giving up, nobody in his team would give up, because the same courage is contagious and it's going to flow into the team members and their followers as well. I think that is the inspiration that we all are getting from everyday morning from Mahendiran. Whatever he is saying, right? Maybe he may not be having a great day all the time, but whatever is being said in that morning session definitely goes into our subconscious mind, and whatever is being passed on to us, we are trying our best to apply it for that day, at least for that day. So this is what all about. So when we have someone that we are leading, we should be definitely doing something good, something like what we are getting, we should be contributing. If it in terms of work, it would be a better planning, better discussions, learning from lessons. All those things has to be shared, discussed, to make them feel like they are part of the team, and they can definitely achieve what they want, even though things are not going good. So that confidence is coming with the courage. So that's the Kural that I love the most with this topic of courage. So another skill that is he's talking about leadership is listening. So everybody wants to talk, prove that they are the great leaders, they are the great communicators. But what is that brings us the listening is the fundamental quality of a leader. So that's what he's saying. Actively listening to others lets them know that you are interested in their ideas and you care about what they want to say. If you have seen some people, they will be acting like they are listening, but their thoughts will be somewhere else. Even we may do that in some times, but that is like I would say it's like a betrayal, right? You're listening partially, but it's not completely. I feel guilt when I don't 100% on focusing on something. And I think what we are losing is what I would say that from our side, if we are not listening, it's somebody is putting their effort to say what they want to communicate, whether it's right or if you accept or not, at least The listening is the one that gives you the mental confidence and condition to think through and analyze and tell yourself, convince yourself, hey, this is not right. What he said is not right. Even for that decision, there are 100% listening and full involvement in that topic is needed to make that justification. So that that is a kural that I heard about listening is there is a lot, but picked few that relates to leadership skills. So, எனைத்தானும் நல்லவை கேட்க அனைத்தானும் ஆன்ற பெருமை தரும். எனைத்தானும் நல்லவை கேட்க அனைத்தானும் ஆன்ற பெருமை தரும். So, what he's saying is, it doesn't matter how meager the idea or suggestion is. Could be something that they want to say, very small idea that you know that this is not going to be of great help, but the idea, the good idea produce benefits when implemented. So if you don't listen, you may be missing out a small idea that's going to be the fire for the small fire for that candle or the lamp that is there. So it's so crucial for a leader to listen and not always talk. And then that's about listening. There is a lot more, and everything is about listening, right? If you're husband and wife, and if you want to excel in your relationship, you should be listening. You should, oh, this is what she's going to say, this is what he's going to say. So that preconception opinion or if you don't have that, and if you hear it like you're hearing it for the first time and with the right attitude of listening, there is definitely something, the result of that conversation or that communication that's happening at that moment would be completely different when you are not listening with focus. So listen with focus is not only in the professional area, but also with any family life. Listening is so important. We should spend our time in listening. So if you are not a reader, an audiobook, how much it's helpful, right? I'm not, I'm trying to, I will be, but I'm not a book reader. But the audiobook, the introduction of audiobook definitely made a lot of difference and lot of confidence in me about a book. I can talk about the books that we reviewed here, at least because of the listening skills and listening capability, possibility that is available today. So it's everywhere listening. What it makes a difference in our life is like, we cannot quantify that. That's like beyond everything. And if we have the right listening and if we have the right way of taking it in, then that makes that gives everything that we need. That's possibility, opening of the door. So in Energile, sometimes my listening skills, I just call it or tell myself that even if I missed that part, it's definitely in my subconscious mind. But how much ever we say that, try to recollect it, it doesn't come. Whenever there is a takeaway, I even wanted to talk to Mahendiran about it. Full attention, even if I pay full attention, I'm listening. And it goes, I can feel that it is going into my subconscious mind. But coming back and trying to recollect, it's so hard to get that back from the memory with all the things going on in our world. After few hours, I know that I got benefited. I know that I've taken in so many things for that day, but that bringing that back from that subconscious or conscious mind is so hard. So why is that? If that means the listening has to be so involved and visualization has to be so involved that it cannot go out of our control, even though it is in our subconscious mind, not able to take that. So the listening skills can still be refined. That is my understanding about it. You can make it even more refined and work on your listening skills more, so you can benefit, you can get everything in your bank, in your mind bank. You don't have to let it go, or it is that cannot, you don't want to lose it and make it disappear, right? So that everyone has to work on their listening skills a lot more than what we think we are working on, or what we think our skills are on listening. Anyone have that kind of a jam? I know it's not a relevant, but I really want to understand, like, when there is a takeaway question, even though you have put your efforts, you enjoyed that session, you not about, I know it's not an entertainment, like Mahendran says, it's not an entertainment session. What is that first word? It is not an, it's an inspiration and not an spiritual and not, okay.
Yeah, not an intellectual entertainment.
Intellectual entertainment. Yeah, it's not an intellectual entertainment, right? So the intellect is, I definitely not that I'm taking it like that. But what is that? How do you feel about the day when we are trying to recollect the key takeaways? Or if you don't scribe it? I know if I scribe it, if I write it down in a notebook, it definitely comes back like a replay of the session. But if I don't write it, and I know, but I was completely into it, how is your listening skills? How are you able to get that key takeaways back from your memory? Can someone share that? I just want to learn from you.
Hi, Sudha.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Swapna.
Okay. No, I just want to share that you're not alone in that. I also do blank out when there is a question about takeaway, and because also in the fact that when we are listening, it's every time we tell something or Mahendiranji tells something, we are also rethinking or our experiences along those lines, and then experiencing it, and then we go to the next thing, and each one is so different or profound sometimes. Even I have a hard time trying to recollect what was it in the sequence of everything that we talked about, or what really impacted. So for me, writing is what has helped. So only the days that I'm able to take notes, and I'm able to do that. And I echo with you regarding the listening skills being so important from leadership or from any perspective. It shows that, first off, we're giving importance and we're giving time, which I think is one of the most valuable thing that one can ever give, or gift anybody can give anybody, is their time. So if you're actually intently listening to somebody, that shows that you genuinely care about them and you're listening. Because there's this thing that many people say they want to listen to their friend, but they're not truly listening. And same thing with at the workplace. They're always trying to tell what they think, as opposed to actually listening to the other side of the view. So that's just my experience.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Purva.
Morning, Sudha. Morning, everyone. Yeah, Sudha, I think the part about the things that we talk about and not staying with you, I think you and both Swapna answered the solution. It's the scribing. It's banned because it's, as one of you mentioned, is when Mahendra is saying something, it's just our brain works that way, right? Immediately something comes up, our thoughts take tangentially off, and we try to connect, okay, how did this situation apply to me, and what did I act, and what should have acted. And by the time that all those thoughts going on, we basically talking to ourselves, thinking to ourselves, Mahendran is gone like 5 or 10 minutes ahead, right? And then you get to that point, and I'm like, well, hold on, Now, what's the context in the last 10 minutes? So that is what generally happens. So the way that I do it is whenever some key takeaways that I try to focus during the listening. Again, I cannot, even if I try. And the reason is this, as I mentioned, a situation suddenly comes in my mind is like, oh, you know what, this is a perfect situation for what Mahendra is talking about, and what did I act and how should I act it and all that stuff. So I try to focus as much as possible. I write it down, and then one thing that I do is, and this is a saying, we have it in Gujarati. I know we guys talk about Tamil and other languages, so I'm going to tell you something to it in Gujarati for everyone. કે ગાય જે રીતના વાગોડે ને એમ વાગોડે રાખવાનું. And what that means is, during the day, you have to keep pondering on it. It's if you just write it once and then you move on, and then the next session comes again, more knowledge of information is going to come out. And again, you do the same thing. If you don't keep on pondering, and the reason what it says is, I'm sure we all of us have seen cows, right? And you know how cows eat, right? They would eat once, but then whole day they just keep chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing. So that's the metaphor. It's like when you get the knowledge, you write it down. That's when you're taking the bite of the food. And then basically during the day, whenever you get a chance, open up your book and basically, because what happens is when you scribe, because again, when Mahendra has basically shared some knowledge, there is so many things in context, right? But when you read a key takeaway, it will immediately start flowing through your mind. Oh, you know what? Yeah, he said this as well, and then he said this as well, and this applies to me, and this is how I should have reacted. So that is one of the things you basically keep pondering on the whole day. What kind of information has kind of flown into you? So that kind of works for me. And the second thing about listening, bang on. In fact, I remember I read this somewhere, or I was listening to a podcast, and somebody asked Nelson Mandela. He's one of the most recognized leaders throughout the world. Okay, in any generation, you ask one of the most influential leaders the planet has ever produced, it's Nelson Mandela. And somebody asked him, what makes you such a great leader? And he said a couple of things. I'm sorry, I forgot what the first thing was, but the second thing he said is listening. As a leader, it's extremely important to listen. And as you mentioned, Swapna mentioned, you have to be very focused. That is one thing. But second thing he mentioned, as a leader especially, and I've seen that in our corporate world, when we are sitting in meetings and a topic comes up, there is this instigation within us, right? Oh, I want to speak because I have that idea. But it takes a lot of patience. You have to wait for your time. You will get a time, but it's extremely important. And what happens by that is, actually, when you listen, especially as a leader, is you get a chance to listen to all the ideas. I've worked in organizations, I've worked in team where a team lead comes and says, hey, you know what, this is a problem and this is the solution. But as a leader, I don't think so. That's a key trait. You want to listen to everyone, because you'll get the ideas. And then once you get the ideas, you can, that's the job of a leader. But based on the ideas, you think what is the appropriate solution in that particular instant, and then you basically kind of give your vote in. But that is something, when you talked about leadership, immediately that name of that thing that I heard about Nelson Mandela came up, and that's exactly what was mentioned over here. So yeah, that's I wanted to share. Thanks for all the wonderful talking you did this morning, Sudha. It was very influential.
Thank you, Purva. That is a lot of sharing. Really, very, very meaningful, very thought through points. Thank you so much for sharing. That is true that scribing makes all the difference. And I see in the chat, Mahendran is helping with all the tools and suggestions. Yes. So what he's saying is, if we take it, you have to get it into your DNA. Yeah, that statement I keep using at home. Like you tell the kids to do something, follow a small rule, habits, stacking habits, but every day it is a miss and I have to remind and all that. So I tell them it's not just committing, it's just take it into your DNA. So that's exactly what I'm saying this morning, getting into DNA and subconscious level. Yes, we have to do that, and that's reiterated, and that is coming in the next line that he's saying about PPR, prepare, practice, and reflect. That's like, yeah, practice is that recollect, like what Purva said, keep chewing through that throughout the day. If you had some points, that you loved and you wanted to follow and you got it, you should make sure that you reiterate it and see if you can apply somewhere in that day. So it gives you the satisfaction and it gets you into your subconscious mind forever. And then Mahendran is also talking about ABC tool, that is ABC 123 tool. I'm not sure how many of you are using it. I'm the Super 6 and ABC tool is, I thought that is for the tasks, that is like a Power 6, Super 6 task and prioritization. Yeah, I think that if you want to memorize or using your scribe for making a note of whatever you got for the day, he can saying that he can also use that tool. That's a good point. Thank you, Mahendran. Yeah, and or he also he's saying about interested versus committed. Yes, I am interested to listen, or I am committed to listen and follow those things. That is also important thing, definitely. And but making a notes for ourselves, some takeaways. Yeah, that I do that. When the end of the session, I will recollect and say, okay, these are my takeaways. But I think the worldly priorities come and hide those, or put them back, or I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely work on those. Thank you for all your tips, friends. Appreciate that. And other thing that is important, thing that on the leadership is delegation. I want to make it quick. இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். I really loved this. This is exactly like somebody telling someone like so much of a beautiful, easy words put in together in Tamil. இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்று ஆராய்ந்து என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். So this is the meaning is the leader should be an expert in the delegation, that it is essential to scale up the work and bring up initiatives and build the team stronger. So if you have to identify, it's not about you being a leader all the time, right? You have to identify who can be the next level leader. If you are not identifying it, and if you have a huge hierarchy of people working under you and not identifying and bringing someone under you in limelight, that hey, he's my the next level of leader, then that is also not an leadership skills. You are not a great leader. If you are a leader, you should have at least brought up so many leaders under you into different teams. So that's an important, and that happens only if you are able to delegate, and if you are able to identify who can do what in the best way. It's not that everybody can be, you cannot have a team that is full of people who can do the best and achieve everything that you want. There are some positive and negatives in everybody. So we have to identify the positive of everyone and give the tasks accordingly, so that you get always the best result. So that's what he's talking about. Who can do what? You have to analyze that. You should know the skills to identify who can take this task and delegate that. And without a delegation, if you are doing for 24 hours, working through day and night, that's not a great leadership skills as well. You may be doing it for your satisfaction, or you don't know how to delegate, so you're doing it. So whenever you are overwhelmed with your work, and you don't have to be a leader to delegate. It can be a thought process that, hey, why should we be doing this? Is that not be going into somebody? Can we separate this out as a separate phase? Whatever ideas that you can come up to do a delegation is for success of the project. It's not that we are giving away the work. If you're overdoing, that means you are not efficiently handling it. So that's part of the delegation topic I wanted to talk about. That is all about it. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate listening to me. Anything that you want to share about any of the points that we discussed that would add value, it'll be great. Thank you.
Hey Sudha, thank you for the
Balaji.
presentation. Balaji here.
Good morning, Balaji.
Hey. Yeah, I was actually listening and also doing the crime of passively listening to recollect something else. My my thought went away on something else when you talked about both leadership and the attention. So I recollected like two things that I just want to share on this topic that you covered. One on the leadership, right? And you said like having the clarity of thought and whatnot. So based on my personal experience, it's not that I did it, but I was actually seeing this evolving in the last uh, 7 to 8 years of my career in my company, right? So the founder of my company, his name is Ray Dalio. Uh, he's one of the known figure in the public. So he had this vision that he is done with achieving his financial success or the company and whatnot, right? So he want to give back to the society. That's what his thought was. And he was actually like following set of principles in his life, and he want the world to know about it. The way that he was holding it is he want to make it more easily available, and also make the resources free for people. So it all started with a very small experiment that was like long back, years back. And today, if you see on the web, principles.com, if you go, you could see his vision being succeeded, having that clear clarity. It's not done in like a single year. It's like 5 to 7 years of effort, and the way that he has actually like reached out and made it available to the entire public. It's awesome, right? If you browse there, you could see like all the life principles that he was using, and also like there are like free psychometric test that is like more comprehensive test. If you want to take them through the professional stuff, it might even cost $100 to $200, but he made it like free for people to just to learn about you and get a better version of you, right? um, that's one of the like inspirational leader that I could able to work with. Not very direct, but
Awesome,
indirect.
Balaji. Please feel free to, sorry to interrupt. Please feel free to share that website once again here so that even those who miss attending also can get the benefit. Yeah, thank you.
Principles.com, right, Balaji?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So any of you can actually there are no hidden cost or anything, even those tests and everything are free. You guys can actually browse through and see. So that's on the inspirational leadership that I could actually witness, and on the focus, the thing, right? Coincidentally, I was actually listening to Hidden Brain. That is one of the famous podcast hosted by Shankar, and in one of the podcasts they were discussing about this focus, uh, and the author of the book called Gloria, the book name, I guess it's Attention Span. Attention Span is the book name, and she's I believe a psychologist, and doing research on people's attention span. So basically, what they figured out over the years, in the last 20 years, most of the human attention span lasted probably in the 1990s, about 1 minute 30 seconds or so. That has been drastically reducing, and in the pre-pandemic era, it's about 45 to 50 seconds. So we may not be able to stay focused on a single screen for more than that. So that's her research, and she was also supporting it with other materials and whatnot. So uh, that is actually that is also because of all these technology and everything coming up, right? You may even notice Apple as a the usage log, right? You can actually on a weekly basis, it generally flashes you your screen time is up or down, if you just go and deep dive into it, you can see like how many times you picked your phone and gone into a specific app. That shows the addiction towards that specific app, right? It could be a WhatsApp. The moment you actually take, there may not be like any message on the screen, still you want to just get in. So like I'm yet to read that book fully, but the one of the suggestion that she is providing is like first, to get into like a better focused mindset, we need to actually like develop something called meta awareness. That is basically like understand that this is happening, right? What is actually like blocking you from paying the full attention? What are all your distractions, right? That's meta awareness. Like in an Energile term, it's about like your guarding yourself, right? The security guard that you want to develop, that where you are making a mistake. So once we develop that, then we can actually like implement control against them. But without that meta awareness, it would be like very difficult to actually like get into the mode of better productivity. So that's the high level that I could get from the podcast. But that book is something interesting. Probably like I will pick it up during the next month or so to read it. So these are the like two thoughts that I just want to share, as these were actually like related to what I was going through.
Thank you, Balaji. Thank you so much. I just a lot of things that you shared. I was surprised to hear that 1.5 minutes to 50 seconds when I was able to listen to you completely for at least 3 minutes, right? So I'm not, I don't know if that sounds really low. And if that is the fact, that is like, that's very scary to hear that our attention is only for 50 seconds. Yeah. It's great, but thank you so much, Balaji. A lot of resources that you have shared, and that book sounds very interesting. We really want to hear from you. Thank you so much for the commitment that you are taking, that you're going to share that book. What was the book name you said? Attention and Focus.
Attention Span.
Attention Span. Okay. Thank you. Over to you, Mahendiran. Thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity. Anyone else want to say? I think Mahendiran is on mute. Anyone else want to share anything? Delegation.
One thing I want to say is, Sudha, I never imagined that we can have a book breakthrough on a book that we don't even understand the language. You covered it so beautifully.
Thank
giving
you,
us
Swapna.
the gist of everything and explaining the essence of everything. So, I mean, I hear so many times Mahendiran ji telling about the book.
Yeah, translation is available on all languages, Swapna. It's mind blowing, and definitely it makes a difference in the native language, but it is still very effective book for any language.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, Sudha, so wonderful session, Sudha. Thank you so much for your time and efforts. So, two quick things. So, Sapna, I've posted a link on the WhatsApp group. That's a new AA tool that is released for Thirukkural, where you can ask any questions, even in English, more like ChatGPT, right? Just for Thirukkural. It'll give you the answers, right? So, as Sudha was explaining, I was actually playing with the tool parallelly to see if it can actually produce some results, right? So it was basically pointing out the Thirukkural based upon the questions that you asked. I asked, how do leader focus, or how do I get clarity on my goals, right? So it was basically finding and providing the Thirukkural, but it also has like one line of English translation also on the very top on the results, right? So try it to see if that is useful. And so that to answer your question, how do we take all this knowledge and implement? My technique is to take one idea from the session every day and see if I can actually, implement it in real time, right? And I'm not saying I'll be successful every day, but that's how I do it, Sudha. So there are like 1,000 or 100 ideas that Mahendiran shares, right? Every minute, every second. But it's not easy to do all that. And also not remember all that, right? So what I do is just take one idea. What is that one thing I learned today? And see if I can actually implement it so that, like Purva mentioned, மாடு ஆசைப்படுற மாதிரி ஆசைப்பட்டு எப்படி அதை how do we actually get it internalized, right? That's my way of doing it.
Thank you, Karthik. Yeah, that was a great share by Purva, and thank you so much for putting it. At least to take one and implement it. That implementing is actually doing it, and you will never be able to forget because you have physically did it and you have seen the result. Thank you for the share, Karthik.
Yeah, sometimes we'll not be able to do all the things, right? So, and we don't need to do all the things. One idea is what you need just to change the entire life.
And most of the time, that day is all related to that one
Yep.
concept. Yeah.
And I think our frequency that, whatever that idea, maybe whatever problem that you're going through or whatever we wanted to do, even then he shares 100 ideas, maybe that one idea will click to you and
Exactly.
you just.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you all. Mahendran, are you there? Swapna, so next week you're going to do the book that you picked. You think so?
Just few seconds. Give me a few seconds.
Sure, Mahendiran.
Oh, thank you so much for the patience. That was such an amazing session. Sudha, thank you very much for the great leadership. I know you picked up this topic just yesterday. Within such a shorter time, you were able to prepare so much, and you were able to relate multiple things. I could say that, right? So this particular book was written, or yeah, all this 1330 couplets, and which are written just with a 7 letter for each couplet, and which are written almost 2000 plus years before, and which are still relevant now, and you were able to relate with our day-to-day life. More importantly, even with what we learn here, like with different Energile. And being a listener, I had that advantage of just reflecting on certain tools. Whenever you talk about, okay, what are the tools you are talking about? I was just posting in our chat box, and that is such an amazing session. Thank you so much, and even you made it more interactive. That's even more special, and everybody were kind of pitching in their ideas or references and the best practices. See, this is the real team spirit, right? So when we come together, learn together, explore together, grow together, apply together, and with a sense of mutual accountability, that is so nice, so nice. Thank you so much for the wonderful. And those who are just didn't get a chance to watch it live, the real live experience, what Sudha has provided. Maybe I can just read out few of the chat, the messages what we receive from few of us. So I'm just reading what Sugapriya says, that thank you, Sudha, wonderful session. Okay, exhaling how a leader should have clarity in mind and courage to lead things, and listening skills, and inspiring others to make them leaders. Thanks a lot. Awesome. And thanks a lot to the open mind on lot of things, by Vinila. And I'm sure, many other. Okay, so Ashwini says, thanks for the amazing presentation. So lots of great takeaways. Beautiful. So I just wanted these, to be recorded also, so that those who listen also would be benefited. And thank you so much. Sorry, due to some network challenges, I could not, pitch in earlier. All right. There are a few other tools, what we remembered or recollected, and I'm just reading out a few for the listeners' benefit, because you cannot see the chat boxes. And those who are listening to this, you can even update it, comment, or put it in our group accountability group about what are your key takeaways from this. Yeah, always we can have takeaways. And there's something takeaways, nothing but what we listen to it. What we can really take it inside our heart, inside our mind, how we can really process through it and make it as part of our day-to-day life. Yeah, so that's what it is. And so there are few tools what we were just recollecting as. One is kind of, let me see. Oh, I'm not able to see all those myself too. Okay, cool. There are a few things like, tip is a thinking paper. So anytime we get overwhelmed, or anytime the journaling is such a powerful, I mean, less, what to say, has been less used, but it has several advantages. It can act as a healer, it can act as a planner, it can act as a like note taker, it can act as a the one tip as a kind of how we can really come out as a from the overwhelmingness. So we can just think in paper, put all your thoughts together in a sheet of paper, and then among that, you prioritize it. Yeah, there is a ABC 1, 2, 3 goal setting practice you can do it, or a kind of you are just picking the top super. Karthik so beautifully said, right? So even if you're not getting all the ideas, all the thoughts, at least pick one, right? And that also would be a great, great way we can really apply. So it's a kind of power of one, we say, right? Otherwise, we also say multiple things like the 2-second rule, 3-second rule, 5-second rule, right? So there are different words we say, right? So in one word, if you can put it, it's like a jump. If you can put it in 2 words, it's like done, win. Done is what is inside. Once you make it in your heart, in your mind, and then you can get it done outside. Yeah. So done, win. So once it is done inside, then win is outside. Or the 3-letter words like 3, 2, 1, and then get it done. Yeah. Or get it done. Also, you can say it to yourself. You can just use certain. We call it as a switch word or a kind of rechannelizing words. So from one level of being, how we can really switch, elevate into that next level, and then do it. Then this 5-letter word like 5, 3, 2, 1, done, win. Yeah, we can also do that. There are multiple ways we can do it. Like even Mel Robbins has written one book around 5-second rule. Like sometimes rather thinking too much, just get into action. Whatever gets you into action in your own word, your own way, right? We can do that. So we're just talking about that tool, and then picking the top 1 or 3 or 6 takeaways. Yeah, we can work on it. And also, the more than just being interested, just being committed also is another important thing. And basically, we are through this prioritization, we help our brain to prioritize. Basically, we train our brain, and see, one is a kind of getting overwhelmed. It's on one way. The other way is we are just rather making brain to be in that overwhelmingness. We are telling that, hey, these 3 are very important for me. This is what I'm going to focus. Similar to what we do with our Super 6 activity, right? So goal setting for the previous night, on the goal setting for the next day, or the previous night itself. In that night, what we do, like for those who are fairly new to this ABC 1, 2, 3 technique, I'll just say very briefly. It's called you just again use a journal. Put out all that which is important in your head, in your mind, whatever is important. Just put together. Just don't even think about prioritization in the beginning, right? That's the first stage. Just put all those points. At least make sure that you have at least 15 to 20 points. Without that, don't even stop, right? And then list out all those 15 to 20, minimum 15, and then among that you do the prioritization. Means ABC prioritization. In the ABC, what do you do? Like the most important, most urgent, and the things which is definitely only you can do, and it can even be a great lever to get multiple things done. So sometimes just by doing that one task, you get 5 or 6 or 10 tasks completed. So some task would be so powerful, very time sensitive. Those are very, very core to your growth. Yeah, you want to really identify those things, and then this way you just prioritize it, right? And the B is important, but still not super duper urgent, but still is important. And then in the C category is more like it can wait. It's just that you are interested, but you can even wait to get it done. So then what you do is scrap all the C as well as all other things. Just put, in the A category, at least put 1, 2, 3, you prioritize among them. And then in the B category, put 1, 2, 3. Sometimes in case if it is a category, which is there in your 4, 5, 6, it can even be brought to B 1, 2, 3. You get my point, right? But in every category, you have only 3. And then you have is just A, B. So A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, that's it. And then all other things you're scrapping it, or you're just telling your brain that it's not super, I mean, I don't need to get it done today itself. And you can even use it as a feed for the next day. That also is okay. And then you're just getting things done on the top three, and that will be the feed for the next day. And focus on A1 activity. Always. And every time, you are always having that A1 with you. So what Mahendiran, you said A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, then how are you calling as A1? Yeah, once the A1 is done, you're moving the A2 as a A1. Yeah, and then getting it done. Then once the A2 is done, and then you move the A3 as a A1. So you're always working on the priority. That's the whole idea. And the entire day, you're not really moving out of, getting that one thing done. That is to be a A1 player. Yeah, A1 player. You want to work on the A1 activities. So that's what we say in our coaching sessions. And yeah, so you take care of it. Yeah, that's one of the tools. I just got reminded while Sudha was talking about it. And then there are a few other things like what else I said? Yeah, PPR. Yeah, prepare, practice, and reflect. And there is a way of internal notes, external notes. Yes, Sudha also mentioned that about getting into DNA on the subconscious level. And don't underestimate the subconscious level. Just because it's not fitting into your conscious, and it doesn't mean that it is not getting. So nothing to feel guilt or nothing to feel low on yourself that this I didn't get it done or it's really not. But you'll not know that how powerfully once it gets into, because you're just paying a conscious attention to let it happen in the subconscious level, and then once the subconscious mind is the primary thing, right? So sometimes you're just using this as a kind of listening ritual. You're just listening, but very mindfully, consciously. And then what happens is at the right time, that subconscious feed will feed to your conscious mind to take the right action there. You just immediately think, oh yeah, this is what we discussed in our Energile coaching. Oh, this was the topic. This is what the tool was suggested. Then you will immediately act on it. So that's the best part about allowing your subconscious space to work. And every day, especially in the morning sessions when you attend, and I would say like it is just a top 1% of the entire world also, I can say, because the early risers are less than 1% of the entire. And that means there's so much, we can go, and that morning, how you start your day, and it's going to define the entire day. And it's going to, and so don't even miss even single day. Yeah, that's what I suggest. And doing these rituals, following this, and so yeah, long story short, and what are the other tools which you are kind of referring? Maybe I've taken some notes and I'll just share with you all. So one is a kind of so what? It's a very powerful tool. Yeah, how many of you are using this, friends? Yeah, so what? So sometimes you're not really getting certain things done in a particular way, or you're not able to memorize it. And memory is also, it's nothing called bad memory, good memory, right? It's about the trained memory, untrained memory. Even the mind also is like that. It's nothing called negative mind, bad mind, this mind. No, it's about the way how we train it. And if you really, really make it in a way that, to train it, it will definitely get it. Okay, so coming back. So the so what is, so what, it happened. Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. And then you acknowledge, you claim the spot, you claim the power, and then, just, start working on the next. That's it. And just because you are worried, just because you're thinking low on that, and then not that like it will not happen at all, right? So that's one thing. And then the other tool, what we say in Energile coaching, all right, what else, what next? Yeah, these three phrases, you want to just say that. All right means whatever happened, you're accepting. You just jump into that acceptance mode. Then once you accept, what happens? Then you look at the choices. Okay, what else are the options? 1, 2, 3. Like you can even do this ABC 1, 2, 3, right? What are the A1, A2, A3? What I can do. Then what is the A1? Yeah, then you're just picking and choosing that. And then you do what next? The what next is implementing the A1. That's it, right? And then keep moving in. Rather thinking, feeling, and getting confused, not taking any action. Just pick one and then just do it. Yeah, and then get released yourself and be free. So that's called all right. What else? What next? Yeah, these are the certain tools, we discussed earlier, but I want you to all to get reminded about this and don't miss whatever you learned. And the third tool, which Sudha was talking about, which I was remembering as FTR, first time, right? When we plan any work in a proper way, you just get it done in the right way. Yeah. And you want to really pay a closer attention. Like there is one dialogue, right, in a movie, Vikram 2. Kamal Hassan, someone asked him, right, the hero, that, okay, what's the plan B, boss? He'll say simply, to make plan A to work, plan B is to make the plan A to work. What it means is you make it first time right. That's it. Whatever it is, you want to get it done. If you feel it is important for you, just go for it. Yeah, no, nothing can stop. No one can stop you. So that I got reminded about the tool. So always follow this FTR. In the same way, even while taking notes, even while listening, just paying that attentive listening and just paying and giving your complete closer focus on it. So we also say another tool, right? So it's about attention. First, you get distracted. Yeah, a lot of distractions happening. And then you train your mind to get from distraction to attention. Attention is it's an area of attention, right? So for example, your health is an area of attention. Your memory is an area of attention. Or your relationship is an area of attention. Your money is not really going great. Okay, it's an area of attention. Career is an area of attention. First, get into that area. What exactly you need to do. And then from attention to focus and focus to deep focus. Those who focus also will not be super successful because only those who get into deep focus will be super successful because that's what will get you into FTR also. Yeah. Then the other tool we're talking about just taking notes while Sudha was presented so beautifully. She presented. The PPR. PPR is another tool. Yeah, and you wanna just prepare. Just be ready. Yeah, always be open, receptive. Yeah, we always say here, right? So as part of Energile coaching, we can really be open, being coachable, being really receptive, so that that all abundance are always already happening in our life, always already. And anybody whom you see can be the opportunity for you to take you or your life into next level. We say that there's another tool just coming into my mind, right? So just a 2-point agenda. You remember the 2-point agenda? One is about always be inspiring or get inspired. That's it. No other thing, right? No confusion, nothing. If something is working out or something is not working out, you still have something to learn or something to change. Yeah, changing the changeable, accepting the unchangeable, and then knowing the difference of what you can change, what you cannot change. And then what's the next one? Yeah, so that's about the prepare. And you always go prepared. Always be ready and prepare to receive the abundance. Prepare to do the right thing. Prepare to talk. Prepare to speak. Like Sudha has, within such a short time, she prepared so well and then presented. And what is a presentation? It's a practice. Yeah, whatever you prepared, you practiced. Practice is putting into execution, putting into implementation. You're not just learning and going. And you put into practice, and then after practicing it, you're reflecting. Yeah. Then, like Sudha asked each and every one of you that what are the takeaways, or what did you learn, or how you handle this case. Yeah. Even though Sudha knows that solution, but she so beautifully put it to the group, and then everybody came with that idea. That's how. Then you reflect on it. Everybody reflects on it, right? So one topic. If it was just another point we just shared and then crossed, then would have gone. But because it was discussed, it was reflected, everybody reflected. That's why we always say that in every session, okay, just, what are your key takeaways? Even though some days we may not get the result also, but still we ask, why we ask, so that, how it has been reflected into each of us. And every day we wanted to, even at the end of the day, like this PPR, you can even look at it for a day-to-day plan also, right? So every day morning you're preparing for that particular day. And then you practice the entire day, means implementing whatever you know, whatever you learned, whatever you have, and do with what you have, right? And then you do it. And then at the end of the day, You just reflect. Okay, how did I do? What did I plan? Or how I can make the plan better, right? And then you do a pre-preparation on the previous night. And again, do the super 6. And the morning you do the idea 6, right? And you follow through the goal and then get it done, right? So these are the powerful tools. And then what you do, and then yeah, so that's the PPR. Yeah, then we are talking about how to overcome the overwhelmingness and other things. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Sudha. You were awesome as always, and so looking forward to your next upcoming book breakthroughs. Hope you all found it useful. This is called meeting after meeting. Yeah. Now, even those who joined late, or who stayed late, are also getting some. I just wanted to make sure that you are rewarded. Sorry, in between for a few minutes I could not even unmute. Yeah. Thank you for the patience. See you all on top. Thank you, Sudha. Each of you. All right. Until see you again. Chin up, cheer up, and keep shining. See you all on top. See you tomorrow. This weekend also we are planning some special webinar. Stay tuned and keep watching. The group space for announcements. So this week I'm thinking about doing it on Saturday instead of Sunday, but let me see. Depends on my time. Otherwise, usually we do it on Sundays. And then stay tuned. There are more abundance on our way. It's always around. Thank you.